Hey everybody, how you doing? Tom Willard with Tom Willard Trading here. Hope you're having a good weekend. It is Sunday, June 7th, about what is it, 4 in the afternoon Eastern Standard Time. Thought I'd do this video. Didn't get around to it till now. Had a busy weekend. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Watched American Pharoah win the Triple Crown yesterday. Fantastic! What an amazing race and a fantastic exhibition of excellence in my mind. Anyway. A couple of things I want to follow up with on the video from last week. And as I said in the last video, if you'd watched it, I am not doing as much. I'm not as active in June. Then things will pick up again in July. And I've got some things coming down the pike for those of you guys that are interested, especially around day trading and swing trading, investing. But I did mention these airlines as top ideas to watch for day trades this last week. And sure enough, man, what an amazing thing it turned out here. So this candle here was from the first, which was last Monday. And you know, I did the video on Friday after this day, and I said, watch this as a long. Okay, look at the 15-minute chart. It was sloppy early. Notice how it came down, took out the low here, grinded, and then it came back up, made a new high. Okay, as it pulled back here, volume was really low. Take note of that. Okay, when the volume's low on this pullback, that's what you want to see. That creates the situation where again, obviously looking at all the different dimensions that I talk about, it's one dimension that is very positive for continuation in the way the trend is going, which is up in this particular case. You see it kind of sidled sideways here, sloppy. The moving average here, the 20 here is above the 40. The 20 starts rounding up. It goes to a new high, pulls back in low volume. Holy smoke, find your way on, okay? And it exploded, and there's your opportunity. Now remember, I talked about in the last video, these weren't ones that I really want to hold for very long, overnight for a day or two for a trade, but not for very long, because I talked about the longer time frames, and you can see that at the end of the week, we're right back where we started here, okay? So with regards to the 5-minute, let me just look at AAL, and I'll look at DAL as well. You'll see the pattern here. Absolutely spectacular, okay? Sideways, couldn't go any lower here, came up, made the new high. Like I said, it pulled back here. Notice the volume dropping off after the higher volume move up. Exactly what you want to be looking for. There's your buy, and talk about instant gratification. The American way, right here. Okay, that's what you're looking for. You don't always get explosive moves like that. Okay, I was taken aback by how fantastic it was so quickly, but nonetheless, take advantage of it. And when you find these types of patterns, you can get this kind of run quickly, and that's what it really comes down to. Dow, very similar. See the same thing? Okay, it however, didn't make a new high. Okay, it came up, it kind of made an equal high here, pulled back, low volume, and then blast off. Okay, let's take a look at UAL. 5-minute timer, same thing, right? Could not make a new high. Okay, it pulled back here, lower volume, and then explosion. Okay, and you can see why I was leaning more toward AAL, because it was the one that was most aligned with making off that new high and pulling back. Look at Love. It pulled back off a lower high. And it actually took out the low of the day before it turned around. So this is one that I wouldn't have taken, even though it was very, very remarkable. But to me, this isn't giving me what I want. Notice the difference between Love. Okay, there's Love. Let's go back to AAL on that same day. Oops, too far. Right there. See the difference? New high. This one is superior, okay? Although Love did work just fine, it worked fantastically, it's not a trade I would have taken because it didn't give me what I want. It did not give me what I want, okay? So I had to lean forward AAL because that was showing the relative strength, which I've talked about numerous times, okay? So there's a follow-up on airlines. There was the opportunity. Now, if we go back to the daily charts, again, all of these, Love, UAL, DAL, ALK, JetBlue, ALK, like I talked about, is one of the strong. ALK and JetBlue are the two strongest in the group. Okay, and from a longer-term perspective, those are the ones you want to lean towards if you're bullish on these. But like I said, even they're too extended for me. I'm not buying these and holding them for longer term. I may buy them, hold them overnight, and in fact, if things start to roll over again here, I may get short. Again, you got to look for what you're looking for here. This actually, oftentimes, this little correction here is enough to grease the tracks of this thing to come down even more. Going back to the weekly chart on AAL. You'll see it's down here quite a bit, but it still has ability to fall more. It came up pretty seamlessly off this 28 area. There's no reason this thing can't put a run for that area. Okay, so right now on a longer term time frame, I'm neutral. I'm not going long or short. Okay, I'm looking for day trade opportunities like this one to take. Okay, for a ride for a few minutes, for a few hours, and that's pretty much it. Okay, and that continues to be the MO with regards to these airlines at this point in time. But like I said, keep an eye on JetBlue, Alaska, and see how they behave in light of the rest of them and the group as a whole, the whole sector. And if long is the way to go, those to me, as of right now, and the way they're behaving, would be the ones to lean towards putting money into, as opposed to some of these other ones. And of course, if things start to fall apart, then these are the ones here that you want to short because they're weaker and looking for lower prices. Okay. Now let's go back to Westport, which was my one swing gift I gave you guys last week. And it's basically, it hit that lower entry mark, 563. I talked about that. Well, it hit it here, and it broke above it. And right now it closed on Friday at look at it, 577. So not a whole lot above it, but technically it's hit. The volume here was a little higher. It wasn't explosive. I would have loved to have seen this kind of volume here on this when it hit this high. But then again, remember, like I talked, ultimately it really hasn't triggered the cup and handle, okay, as a whole without breaking the high of the handle, which is 618. Okay, but to me, it's not worth waiting for it to get to 618 and then putting a stop down here, $1 away. It takes away from my reward to risk. So from a tighter entry, which induces typically more stop outs, you will lose more trades on a number basis by getting in earlier, okay, like I did here, okay, but you're risking less from a per share basis, and when you get paid off, you get bigger payoff, okay. So you've got to have the thick skin to be able to take a loss and move on, which, you know, in this business you're going to have to if you want to do this for with any sort of success for the long term, in my opinion, and based on the experiences I've had, okay. So still, it's in play if you got an early. If not, then you're waiting for the high. Great. It may come up to 618, base out again, create another little small cup with handle here, okay, and give you another entry with a tight stop. Yeah, I don't know what it's going to do. All I know is it did hit my initial entry, okay, and I'm in long on this thing right now, and my stop is below these lows, right around $5 a share. If it goes below there, what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to take my stop, right? You don't question it. You just, if it hits your stop, you get out. Well, maybe you don't add to the position, okay, unless it's part of your plan, okay, because if you've got a longer term situation on this, you may want to add, depending on, and I'll do that from time to time, but in this particular case, my plan right now is to get out if it breaks below my stop, as I did with the CENX last week or the week before, whenever it was, okay? So that's the update on Westport Innovations. Now, last but not least, Chipotle Mexico. I just want to talk about this one in general. I tweeted about it a little bit, and I talked about how if this thing broke 600, which it hasn't yet, came close, it could be in trouble for a big move down, at least to the $500 area. Now, you notice this is the one, if you've heard the news, has been absolutely killing shorts for years. Okay, people have been at least that's been, I haven't been short on it, but the general news is that people that are short in this thing obviously are getting killed. You can see this monthly chart that has been in a really, really strong move up. Okay, it came down here pretty viciously, only to turn around and go up and make new highs. Okay, so in general, it's had a big run here on the monthly chart, but it's pulled back here now quite a bit. I mean, it topped out at 726 and it's down at 613. Okay, but what I like about this to watch is the fact that it's let me go back to the weekly chart. Hold on, it's the monthly. Is this possible head and shoulders here that's forming, okay? Now, it's a little bit extended down to be getting short now, but I want to see it kind of set up here at around 600, and if it can fall through this area, I think this thing can come down considerably to around the 500 area, okay? So initiating small options positions on this, okay, as this thing kind of hands out in this area, that's what I'm doing. On the short side, okay, looking for lower prices, but realizing that here that it's got, it's in a sense it's extended right now. So something that I'm just going to eye up over the next, I don't know, 4 to 6 weeks for a situation. And like I talked in some of the other videos, these things, because I'm eyeing them up, if this thing just, for example, say it gaps down to 590, okay, it basically goes without me. I don't chase things, okay. You'll find that chasing things really kind of gets you into trouble. At least I have, and so I'm at a point where I can find ideas typically on a weekly basis. So there's no need to chase anything. So although I'm bullish, I'm not going to sit there and watch this if it gaps down for whatever reason, okay, and say, well, I better get in because I like this and I think it can go to 500. Well, it's not necessarily going to go to 500. It could gap down and go up. In fact, daily chart, what did it do? It gapped down here on this particular day and came up. and then it gapped down again, and then it came up again. So it's showing some buying here, which doesn't surprise me because it is extended down the weekly, and it may get a bounce. What I'd ultimately love to see is have it come right back up to 650, have trouble there, okay, as well as aligned with the market and the sector, and then I look to get a little bit more aggressive on the short side, okay? But nibbling, if you want, it's totally to your plan, and that's the key, ladies and gentlemen, is you've got to have a plan. You've got to have what your edge is, and a signal to get in and a signal to get out, a signal to take your stops, to say, hey, I'm out, it hit my stop, or take profits, whatever your target is, okay? All right, hope that helps. Hope you guys have a great week trading. Like I said, next weekend I'll probably post something Friday. No promises. And then the following week I'll be off completely, and the week after that possibly as well. So the next 3 weeks I may do another video or two here in June, but one at the most, two at the most, probably one, maybe none. Just depends, okay? But obviously if you need to get a hold of me, I'm always around. Email me, tom@tomwillardtrading.com. Have a great week. We'll talk to you soon.